match stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's my stuff? Yeah. Is that my stuff? I moved.
Jake, why are you
I lost
texting your
to radio
brother,
lock.
cousin, father?
Good to go? Good to go.
Oh, so alright, we are live. I am Justin Karras. That's my name. I am here to commentate top 4 of the New York midseason with my boy T-Man.
What's up, guys?
And both of us knocked out a top 8 by respective great players. One of them being in top 4 right now, Daniel Stein, Blaziken Burner, playing against Jake Skurchak, a former top 4 Worlds competitor.
In the seniors division, but
Top 8, my bad.
but still a wonderful player nonetheless. Yeah, we've had a hell of a tournament today, guys. We had, over the course of the top cut, we had 6 double primal teams top cut today, which is pretty insane, I think. And the other 2 were both Evital Groudon teams, Justin being one of them, Daniel being the one we'll be seeing on stream today. And funny enough, in top 8, they all mirrored. So we had...
Top 4. We're playing top 4.
Yeah, we're playing top 4 right now.
Top 4.
Yeah, and yeah, top 8 was all mirror matches. So all the double primals played, all of the Evital Groudons played. So finally get to see something different now on stream.
Yeah, so we're going to see a Evital and Groudon versus a double primal Groudon Kyogre. A lot of the teams that have been flying around lately with double primal usually feature Salamence, Thundurus, and the likes of either Ferrothorn or Amoonguss, or sometimes people even opt to go with Kangaskhan in the last slot. But I think the version Jake's using is Double Genie, Bronzong, a Kyogre, and Groudon. Yeah, so
Kangaskhan. So no Salamence, which is something very interesting.
Yeah, Kangaskhan offering Fake Out Pressure just makes the Trick Room mode a little bit easier to develop, and I think that in going into this matchup, Evital has a great shot. It's much stronger against Double Primal than Double Primal is against Evital.
I think one of the big parts of this is the fact that the Trick Room mode on Double Primal, since not all the Double Primals run the Trick Room option, but most of the Double Primal Trick Room setters are weak to Evital, despite even on top of the both Primals taking tons of damage with Foul Play from Evital as well. So between Kyogre, Groudon, Bronzong, even Landorus is going to get one shot by Foul Play. So Evital is probably the key to this matchup, I think. And if Daniel plays correctly with it, he should have the advantage through most of the set.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Daniel played an excellent match against me. I did 4 him game 1, but he definitely turned it around in game 2 and 3. And he had a Kangaskhan on his team, whereas I had a Salamence in the slot. Exact same team. I just had a Salamence over his Kangaskhan. And he used the Fake Out Pressure really well, and it kind of put a lot of pressure onto my Thundurus. And in game 3, he really effectively used Thundurus Evital, something that, in my opinion, is one of the most threatening leads in the game against anything. Just because Evital has so many different move choices, it can even stop Trick Room with stuff like Life Orb Knockoff, which is actually what I was opting to use today. Yeah. And I was OHKOing Creselias and Bronzongs alike. And Thundurus, with pressure between Thunder Wave and Swagger, it's just really devastating. Like you have to fear both the Swagger Foul Play with your Primals and just, Swagger and Thunder Wave itself. But we're going to be going right into this. And laughing up a storm over there, your boy Jake Skurchak. We're going to see Daniel lead Kangaskhan Evital. Jake laughing really hard because he knew that was coming. And on Jake's side, we are going to see me and Used. So Jake... not feeling good about himself right now. Kangaskhan and Thundurus out onto the field. I think that Jake really got the advantage here on the lead. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the key for Jake here, he has to be able to have some sort of fake out or redirection to stop the Evital from doing so much damage right from the get-go. Being able to use that fake out pressure to get some leverage there with a Thundurus, whether it be Thunder Waving Kangaskhan or Evital, or maybe putting some damage on the Evital to get it off the field as soon as possible. I think, Jake's probably in a better position than Daniel is here from the start, but Daniel's still in a pretty good spot as well.
Kangaskhan's going to Mega Up. Baby hopping out of the pouch. Doing a little dance. And it's probably going to see a Fake Out here, as Daniel also Daniel's Mega first. Let me make sure I get the record straight. Jake's Mega Kangaskhan also Mega Evolving there, and we're going to see a Protect from Thundurus on Jake's side. Something, that's going to preserve him from taking Fake Out damage, possibly also preserve a Focus Sash. Evital's also going to Protect, and Kangaskhan going right for the low kick. Going to get the knockout here. Fantastic damage roll.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, no, it didn't actually. My bad. That's a damage roll almost all the time, isn't it? Ah, there you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's damage roll on both sides because I know that Daniel's is Jolly, Max. I don't know about Jake's, but we'll just assume that it was built to survive. Maybe not. Oh, it's actually, you know.
No, it is Jolly. That's my bad. Groudon come in, yeah. So, like, that turn, both players probably predicting fake outs coming onto the partners of their Kangaskhan. So they just both went for protecting the low kick, trying to get damage, predicting those protects and those fake outs from the opposing Kangaskhan, to the lack of fake outs, rather. But yeah, the Groudon comes onto the field and immediately applies pressure to both the Kangaskhan and the Thundurus, since Kangaskhan's just in range of a Sucker Punch from the Yveltal. And as far as I know, the Thundurus should not have really many options to touch the Groudon, so I think the Groudon's in an absolutely great position here, and we have to see if Jake is going to want to preserve his Kangaskhan or not, being so low.
Yeah, I think the pressure here really is Thunderwave from Thundurus. Does he really want his Yveltal to get, the reduction in speed? But Daniel might also have his Trick Room mode sitting in the back. We'll be delighted to see if that's the case. He'll be in a much better position if he can use Trick Room to wrap this game up. But going into that next turn, do we even see if the Yveltal goes for an attack, just maybe Sucker Punch the Kangaskhan, or just to maybe drop a foul play onto that Thundurus, because it will do still a ton of damage just because of Dark Aura. We're going to see the Yveltal switch out, though, and Daniel's going to bring in the Thundurus just to, prevent his Yveltal from taking that damage, and the Thunder Wave, which is, very crucial to how he's going to play this endgame. Double Edge, though, going to do a ton of damage to that Groudon. Even though Groudon's, particularly bulky on the defensive side, Kangaskhan is an offensive powerhouse. The Precipice Blades, very, very risky Precipice Blades there. But I wanted to, predict a possible Groudon switch in. Gets the knockout on the Kangaskhan. What do you think, Tommy?
So yeah, Daniel sees there that he does not want his Yveltal to get Thunder Wave there, so he feels that trading the damage that the Kangaskhan can put out with return there onto his Groudon is a decent trade for him. I think I tend to agree there, since like we said, I think Yveltal is probably the key to this matchup, and preserving it, even just speed, is pretty important. If Daniel had the Trick Room option in the back, like if Cresselia is the last Mon, which we see it isn't, then might have made a little bit more sense. But with Thundurus being the last Mon and no way to set up a Trick Room, he's probably going to want to keep that Yveltal as healthy as possible to win this game.
Yeah, one of the things I'm worried about here is how Daniel is going to be able to knock out that Groudon in endgame. I'm pretty sure Daniel is going to be more comfortable in his speed tier stat, because he doesn't actually run a mid-speed Groudon. Might go for opts for a Fire Punch and double the Thundurus here, so he can use the Yveltal for the late game against the Groudon, or he might actually just try and bail himself out with Swagger just to give himself better positioning. And in the event that he does get the Swagger off on the Groudon, when Yveltal comes into the late game, Foul Play will get a one-hit KO.
Yeah, I wonder if Daniel's switching out his Groudon here, since it is at half health and will go down from the P-Blades if it gets hit. I'm not sure if there's a lot of pressure onto the Groudon slot if he were to switch, so let's see.
The Thunder's going to go for Thunderbolt, and Thunderbolt coming from the Thundurus into another Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt into a Thundurus again. Daniel's Groudon is not going to move first. We're going to see Jake's Groudon go first, get the Precipice Blades off. So that's some useful information in this best of 3 that Daniel's going to take with him going into the final game. But the Thundurus didn't get knocked out, so I'd be delighted to see if this actually turns into a comeback. Thundurus Yveltal, as I said, has excellent pressure, so we just have to see if he makes the right plays.
Yeah, a lot of damage on this Thundurus here for both players, specifically for Jake, because I think Groudon going down here, whether it be to 2 foul plays, I think that's probably what we're going to see. It's more the fact, is Daniel going to have enough left over after going for a foul play or whatever he's going to go for with Yveltal here, since if Thundurus were to go down this turn, he'd have to have Yveltal 2v1 a Groudon, and I'd expect the Kyogre in the back there.
Yeah, I think it's a really crucial turn for Daniel. Does he predict the Thunder Wave and protect his Yveltal, or does he go for a Thunderbolt right out, or does he go for a Sucker Punch into Thundurus? It's going to be a really important turn. Oh, he does get a Thunder Wave, which is going to be really difficult for the wrapping up of this match. But I'm sure the Thundurus is probably going to go for a Thunderbolt here. Oh, Swagger, and probably just going to try and capitalize on the speed while he has it. Going to go for the Foul Play, I'm absolutely certain. And Yveltal gets paralyzed, so it's not going to be able to execute that attack. I do think that getting the Thundurus off the field would have been a little bit more advantageous, but Yeah, that swagger boosted fire punch is going to do a lot of damage. So Daniel going to take the L here, and we're going to see a game 2.
I think from Daniel's side there, if he was predicting the Thunder Wave, I actually think that's the right play. So let's see what's in the back. It is the Kyogre. So then he just has to get one more swagger onto the Kyogre. And if the Kyogre hits itself, I think it's almost 100% victory for Daniel there. Of obviously Thunder Wave para on the Evital could make that a little bit sketchier, and Swagger does have to make the Kyogre hit itself in that scenario. But I think if he was predicting the Thunder Wave onto the Kyogre, that probably, or onto the Evital, that's probably Daniel's best play, and I think I agree with it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'll definitely agree with that there. I think Jake kind of put him in a position where he almost locked it up, because he effectively kept his Kyogre at full health and used the Thunderous to apply pressure onto Daniel's Evital, so that way he wasn't able to really, protect and go for a Thunderbolt or get the Thunderous off the field. Just the positioning he had was just so smart. So critical hit, not going to really benefit him here, but we're going to see it go down to a Fire Punch and an Ice Beam. And as I said, Daniel is going to be sent to a game 2 with a loss on the board.
Yeah, we've seen that Jake's Primals, or at least his Groudon, is faster than Daniel's Primal, or it might be a weird mid-speed tie, but I doubt it. But if it is in fact that Daniel has to slower Mons, I'd like to see maybe if Daniel could set up the Trick Room mode here. I think he has much more of a chance to set it up than Jake would. I don't think Jake has much going for him if he brings the Trick Room options, just because Bronzong can set up Trick Room, and it's like a really, really bad spot. We do know that Jake has been running the Hypnosis Bronzong, so that's something that Bronzong could do in a best of 3, but
my experience with Hypnosis is that it might get you like 1 or 2 sleep turns, but even still Bronzong isn't doing much to Primals if it puts him to sleep.
I mean, if the Bronzong's able to buy a few turns for the Primals, where he can set up Trick Room, maybe put down a Gravity, and then start Hypnosising, so he can get safer switches for his Primals and get his Primals in better position. He doesn't necessarily have to take damage on those turns, as long as he just gets a better board state by making the correct switches, whether it be even just like taking out the Bronzong. I think there's too much against the Bronzong, though. I don't think he has much advantage if he does bring it. I think he'd much rather bring Thunderous, Kangaskhan, and 2 Primals. I think those give you like the most values out of your slot, and it's just playing with them correctly.
Yeah, it's especially knowing the speed tiers, because in all honesty, if the Groudon on Daniel's side, on Jake's side is faster, I'm pretty sure the Kyogre is faster too, because usually people opt to go with Kyogre being faster. Jake won. The Kyogre wants to be faster in Trick Room. I mean, wants to be faster, so that way in Trick Room its stuff goes up.
The rain,
that wet stuff comes down. So we're going to see Kangaskhan and Groudon on Daniel's side. The lead you actually usually see more commonly from the Big 6 variant, but his team's going to be going with the Kangaskhan and Groudon lead here. And Double Genie bringing out that 15 flashback and 13 flashback. And 2012 or no? No, not 2012. 2013 flashback.
Oh, yeah, 2012 a little bit. The loss on the Thunder, the Landorus, and so we didn't have the Rains back then, but yeah, Thunder is still there, definitely.
Yeah, I think Jake did a great job with getting the Intimidate down, but Daniel still has a lot of offensive presence on the field. What are you saying?
I think the hugest, like the biggest part of that turn was the Intimidate going down, or the biggest part of the leads, rather. I think if Jake just goes for like maybe damage and Thunder Wave, I don't think there's much that he really loses. Like in the Thunder Wave, the Kang can go for an Earthquake. Like he's gonna get a Fake Out onto one of the slots, so he either gets Earthquake damage off or he gets Thunder Wave off, and I think both of them are good, since if the Kang does Fake Out, then it means it's not putting up that much damage output this turn. And -1 Groudon not being able to hit Flying type Pokemon with P-Blades now means it has to go for like Fire Punch, which is definitely limiting Daniel's damage output for this turn.
Yeah, I definitely think that he's really pressured by just how much, the offensive presence of both Landers and, the defensive, hindrance that he has. He can't really do much back to Jake. Lander's going to go for Protect, kind of revealing that it isn't an Assault Vest or a choice item. And Kangaskhan going to get a Fake Out off, and we're going to see a Fire Punch go right into that Thunderous. Excellent play. I don't know if he knew it was Life Orb, but that was awesome. got the Thunderous off of the field, and this is a different game now.
That's absolutely huge. I think the Thunderous is probably the biggest threat to the Evital, which I assume is definitely in the back now. I think that definitely paves the road for Daniel to just craft his end game now, as long as he can bring in the Evital in the right spot, preferably switching it in on whatever gets knocked out first. I'd assume that the Groudon's probably going as first, or even both Mons if he just goes for 2 ground moves this turn, but like Evital...
If he goes for 2 ground moves and does no Groudon.
Yeah.
I don't know that he would be able to Earthquake here, if we even know that it has Earthquake. Most likely. I think that the Kangaskhan's, fake out's going to be really good for the end game here. I don't know that he wants to preserve that over his Groudon, though. Knowing that it's slower, though, maybe he might just want to get rid of the Groudon here, and just getting the Yveltal in is definitely the play. He knows that it's not choice item, so Foul Play will just 100% knock out that Landorus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something to remember is he's not the choice, or he's not, specifically, he's not a choice item, so he can go for something like I don't know what coverage moves he's running, but he can go and try and take 1 knockout this turn by P-Blading and doing something to the other slot, maybe a superpower into the Kangaskhan. That definitely hurts the Landorus' options going forward, but would pick up a knockout this turn without having to damage your own Groudon.
Daniel's going to protect his Groudon, just to try and scout out what that Landorus is going to do most likely. Kangaskhan going to go for the double edge into the Landorus, just to get the chip damage, and possibly set up for a next turn KO. I'm probably assuming that the threat here is his own Groudon, and he felt like maybe he'd get double targeted into the Groudon. Also, he might be using his Kangaskhan as a sacrifice, just so that he can safely bring in his Yveltal, which is definitely a great play. Yveltal is going to offer a lot of pressure on both Pokemon. Groudon not doing anything there, just because, it had to protect there, fearing, possible Precipice Blades.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see a double edge into the Groudon if I was Daniel there. Specifically just because you get to put it possibly into Foul Play range now, or even Precipice Blades range. Foul Play will definitely take out the Landorus from this range. I think it probably takes it out from full regardless too. So so if it takes it out from full, then you can just Foul Play and P-Blaze with your Groudon, and as long as your Groudon doesn't get crit and you hit, I think that putting the chip damage on the Groudon was probably much more beneficial. Maybe he predicted Protect, maybe that's why he targeted in the Landorus and was willing to sacrifice Kang and just wanted to get damage on the board in whatever way possible.
Yeah, Yveltal going for Protect here, possibly just to get a Precipice Blaze off and be able to put it in Foul Play range next turn. Rock Slide going to go off into the Yveltal's Protect and do a tiny little bit, crit actually, do a nice 20% chunk to that Groudon, and we're going to see the Precipice Blades come out, and it is going to hit the Groudon, most likely going to do around 50% here. Yep, oh wow, super bulky Groudon, so that's something to keep in mind. It might also been a minimum damage roll. But now both Pokemon are in Foul Play range, and being that there's 2 Pokemon on the field, I don't know that Groudon is actually in Earthquake range.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with Daniel's play there, since by taking out the Landorus or even just putting damage on the Groudon, he would have been able to either take out the Groudon this turn, or more importantly, just stop the Landorus from putting the Rock Slide damage on the board, which probably puts Daniel's Groudon into Precipice Blades range now.
It was a crit, so it was kind of unfortunate. If you think about it, he could have survived a Precipice Blaze this turn.
Possibly, yeah.
Landorus is going to protect. Land. No, my bad, sorry. But Yveltal is going to go for a Foul Play into Landorus, so that's fantastic. As I said, Yveltal offering all this pressure. Because the chip is now on that Groudon, that Groudon's going down next turn because there's no fake out pressure unless he brings out Kangaskhan at the end.
I think he gave up a little bit more than he had to get that chip damage on the Groudon, but in the end, it probably gives him the same positioning.
He brings out the Soldier Boy here. And I really do think that the end game here is almost locked up. He can Foul Play and then switch out the Groudon. Jake might actually be forced into going for a double Protect here.
I think here's what I actually probably protect the Yveltal. So you're safe. Maybe he protects the Groudon here and goes for something like an Origin Pulse or a Thunder or an Ice Beam into the Yveltal slot.
He did protect last turn, so he has to go for a double Protect.
He'd have to go for a double Protect, so yeah. So yeah, Foul Play into the Groudon is probably the safest player, right?
Yeah, I do think that Daniel has a pretty clean Foul Play here, and I really think switching out the Groudon is not a bad idea, because then you can just lock up the end game versus the Kyogre, barring Precipice Blaze misses. I'd be really intrigued to see a Cresselia in the back, but I'm actually almost positive he didn't have his His Kangaskhan's already gone, so he's
Like Thunderous, right?
I don't know. I'm more inclined. He didn't lead Thunderous, so I'm pretty sure it's actually going to be Cresselia. Foul play is going to connect with the Groudon here. Oh, whoa, it's not. He's going to go for the Kyogre. Probably just capitalizing on the fact that Jake might have gone for the double tech, but the Kyogre being slower. Wow, this is incredible. I'm like really intrigued by this turn. The Ardent Pulse possibly going to pick up a knockout on both of them. We'll see. And it gets the almost KO. Yeah, that was a really risky play on Daniel's end. Because Life Orb recoil now means that he might lose. Yeah, now this is... Well, wait, no, he lied. It's still game. Because all he has to do is Thunderbolt and foul play.
This Thunderous is faster than the Kyogre, correct? I'd assume so.
I mean, unless the Kyogre has a hidden Choice Scarf underneath its blue orb, I don't really doubt that Thunderous is faster or not. It's pretty much locked up.
Yeah, we did see that the Groudon went before the Kyogre, so that would make sense.
Yeah,
It's been a long day.
Yeah, a lot of best of 3. Oh, man.
Yep.
So...
Just foul play, Thunderbolt, that should be game 2, and I think they can both start thinking about game 3 now.
Yeah, definitely. Daniel just wanted to give Jake a little bit of suspense, tease him a little bit. Ended up... and we're going to go into game 3 with some pretty even play, I gotta say. Like, I really do think Daniel's, kind of relying on his matchup a little bit too much. I do want to see him go for a little bit more gutsy reads and stronger plays. I think that he could use Yveltal a lot more offensively. So I'm definitely looking forward to this game 3. This is what we live for. Pokemon game 3, top 4 New York Midseason Showdown. Let's go.
I kind of think that Daniel might have gotten bailed out just a slight bit on the first few turns of the game, just because so Jake goes for Protect with Landorus there, likely thinking that Daniel does not know that he has Protect, so that and thinking that maybe the Thunderous does. So that would be the likely slot that wouldn't be protecting, so that's where you go for the Fake Out. But Daniel instead goes for the Thunderous, just making a bad like double mind read for Jake, and Jake...
I'm going to have to disagree.
You think so?
I think that he saw that the Dark Aura went before the Landorus, so he wasn't afraid of anything that the Landorus was going to do, because the Landorus is pressured by foul play.
So it has to switch out or protect. That
so
would make a lot of sense.
He felt like the turn 1 play was totally more in his favor if he just targeted down the Thunderous. Plus, the Thunderous was such a huge threat. So I'd like to see Jake use the Thunderous a little bit smarter, just as it's really his best out to Daniel's Yveltal. But going into game 3, it's really that war of attrition of, am I going to take out his threats, or am I going to, get my threats knocked out? We're going to see a Kangaskhan Yveltal lead on Daniel's side, opting back to his game 1 game plan. And we're going to see Double Genie once again. Intimidate not mattering on that. Wait, this is the same lady he had in all 3 games, right?
No, this is
he led
actually
Kangaskhan Yveltal team.
Kangaskhan Groudon last game.
Oh, Kangaskhan
So
Groudon,
they
my
both
bad.
defaulted back to the leads they lost with, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I guess maybe they had a deal or something at the beginning of the game that they made. They're like, yo, whatever you lose with, lead that in game 3. We're going to see Kangaskhan Mega up and get that nice and tasty attack boost. And baby, it's going to do some damage. We're going to see Protect from the Thunderous this time. I really think Daniel had such a safe play in just going for a foul play and a Fake Out. But now that double Protect really puts on a lot of pressure, and that, yeah, we're definitely going to see a foul play into the Landorus. So for me, is going to be offering a lot more pressure with that Thunder Wave. I'd be interested to see a Thunder Wave into Yveltal and possibly an Earthquake from Jake's side. I definitely think he has room to make that play. Keeping Yveltal not paralyzed is important, so I'd like to see maybe a Protect out of Daniel. It's all down to the, where am I going to be after this turn is, what position am I going to be in, and it really comes down to the end game, especially because Jake's sporting double primal.
There's definitely reads from both sides. Yeah.
Well, alright, we're not going to see a turn 2 forfeit.
Some forfeit on turn 2. This is pretty.
This is a really good set.
Especially after double protecting turn 1.
I know. He is going to withdraw Yveltal, which means he's definitely going to Groudon. Not willing to take any of that damage. I wouldn't be surprised to see that Landorus maybe U-turn out of there, but I do think that an Earthquake could have been pretty safe, because you could have Thunder Wave and Earthquake to cover both switches, and you're not really worried about the Kangaskhan at this point. It's only going to do 50% to one of your Pokemon, and it's not that significant in this format, in my opinion. It's all about can you outspeed and get the, the protect. Kangaskhan gonna get the double edge off, presumably into Thunderous because it's a bigger threat right now, and doing a lot of damage. And then, I thought that was a crit on the second one, but definitely didn't get the crit there. And Landorus is gonna go for the U-turn into Kangaskhan. Get a nice chunk of damage with that Life Orb off. Life Orb recoil not really gonna matter. I do think Life Orb is a flexible item that people can start considering at this point in time. I've been playing around a little bit with Choice Band just because the damage output's fantastic, but being able to protect is really nice with Landorus.
Yeah, especially as we start seeing, obviously Kyogre has been huge already, and Yveltal is still growing in play. I think we had a crazy amount, like 10 in the field today, which is absolutely absurd. Yveltal is...
You!
So having...
Now watch me, you! Now watch me, you! Here comes that Kyogre. Flashback to 2006.
So yeah, having that protect on the Landorus with a bunch of Yveltal and Kyogre running around, I think that's definitely a smart option to have, especially with Kangaskhan still being so ever prevalent. And
I got my first girlfriend in middle school dancing to this song, knowing the whole dance from the YouTube video, and her name was Angela. And then she told me that she smoked cigarettes, so I broke up with her because I wasn't having those then in my life.
I think that's the right play.
It was definitely the right play, but she's really pretty. She's just, not down for that 12-year-old cigarette breath. But anyway, we got the double edge into the Kyogre here, and we're going to see Kangaskhan take a little bit of recoil. Groudon can't use sub after the taunt, and we're going to see Kang avoid the attack, which is huge, but the Groudon goes down. That was a really, really odd play on both ends. We saw a substitute, which is a really cheeky play, and Thunderous was like, no, I'm not having none of that. I don't know why Jake exactly went for the taunt there, but that was a fantastic play. Possibly a game-winning play we're going to see in the end. Thunderous offering tons of pressure into this Kyogre, but presumably Jake might have a Groudon on the back, so bringing Thunderous definitely not the wrong play here, but he doesn't want to bring in his Yveltal to get popped by that Thunder Wave.
Between your love life and this game, I have no idea what the heck is going on anymore.
I'm sorry. It's an interesting story. I was a player when I was in 7th grade. Not anymore. Now I'm a faithful man. But let's go. Thunder Wave going on to that Kangaskhan. Protect we're going to see just to stall out the Kyogre's lifespan really. And Kangaskhan going to go for a Sucker Punch. A little bit of a aggressive play, I would say. Not wanting to let his interesting to let his. All right, so let me recap here. Exactly what happened that turn was Kyogre didn't want to get knocked out by Thunderbolt, and Thunderous didn't want to get knocked out by a Sucker Punch. So Jake kind of in the head of Daniel right now. We're gonna see me switch out into 4, so that is the Landorus. Gonna do a ton of reduction there with the Intimidate. Thunderous, I still presume, is going to be going for the Thunderbolt, but he's going to probably be bringing in a Groudon here, and we're going to see Land come in. Bring the Land. Team Magma right there. Shout out to Team Magma. A bunch of cool cats.
Agreed.
Groudon's going to go for the Primal Evolution there, turn into that monstrous Land Lobster. And the Desolate Land is going to come into play and prevent all water type attacks from doing a darn thing.
What a shame.
Kangaskhan going for another Sucker Punch there. I really think it was, that point where you start going for the double edge there. Just because, your Kangaskhan's either going to get knocked out or not. I do think this game is still very winnable in one scenario. I think that the Yveltal needs to come onto the field nice and cleanly, and Swagger Play just needs to get spammed like crazy. And I think that's exactly what Daniel's going to be going for here. Probably a Sucker Punch one last time, or maybe a double edge so he can knock himself out with recoil. Watch me get flinched and he can't do that. I'd be so upset. Alright, now he got knocked out with that Life Orb boosted Rock Slide. And now we're going to go into Yveltal here. I do know that Daniel sports the Focus Sash, so this is... If there's anything that could come back against a double primal team, it's that exact combination right there. And it really just comes down to the 50-50 of when the Thunderous is on the field. If you really get the Thunderous knocked out before you get Thunder Wave.
In this situation, I think there's a pretty clear play that immediately puts him back into the game, even though it's very, very risky and involves just a 50-50. He could probably swagger the Groudon here
And foul play
the Landorus. And I honestly think that's his best play. As far as getting back into the game, That sets up the Groudon for a KO next turn as long as it hits itself in Confusion, obviously that being the big if. It might be too risky for Daniel, I think,
And
at
then
this
he
point.
can KO the Thundurus. I'm assuming the Thundurus will come in first. And if he gets those knocked out, then, you know, Groudon can't touch either of them. Because if the rain is up, he can just, you know, get rid of the Groudon while before. Alright, so anyway, what's going to happen here is the foul play happens. And
I think it was a double protect, was it? Swagger miss, okay.
he went for the exact play that you said, though. I still don't think he's in too bad of a spot because he does sport the Focus Sash, which is fantastic. Don't call it a burn. We don't want the burn. And, you know, as I said, it really comes down to this last turn. I told the Thundurus is going to come out and it's going to be a 50-50 city.
Oh boy, here's our favorite time of the day. Swagger time.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's really down to this last 50-50 almost, because once Kyogre comes out, Groudon can't touch either of them. So he has to get the Thundurus off the field. And honestly, if I'm Daniel, I'm thinking, alright, Jake needs to protect his Thundurus this turn. Do you want to just Swagger play the Groudon?
Do we know if his Thundurus is faster than the Yveltal, Jake's Thundurus? Because if it's not, then you can just go attack right into it. I think you risk the Thunder Wave for swaggering the Groudon anyways. Otherwise, if it's faster, I think you have to go for the Sucker Punch here. I don't think you have another option at that point.
I think Daniel still has a pretty good play, and like if he gets the Thundurus off the field, you see a Taunt, which is actually really unfortunate, so it was a speed tie. Does he go for the Thunder? Oh, he went for Swagger. Alright, Yveltal does go for the foul play. Alright, so... No crib. Well, Yveltal does still have, it's probably going to live this. Yeah, it does. So, it's just a matter of, if...
It's a Thunderous speed tie. Wow.
It's a Thunderous speed tie. And we might see Protect, too. Yo,
I would
maybe
maybe Thunder Wave is Jake's best play.
This is a really good game. Yeah, I don't know, like, what's...
Yeah, because you could just try and trade Thunderbolts, but since Daniel can't Swagger or Thunder Wave, maybe Jake just wants to Thunder Wave into the Yveltal, so when the Ogre comes in, he'll be faster, and he can just go for like a water move into the Thundurus. Look, he can go for
Land is gonna go for Protect. I really want to see this Thundurus outspeed on Daniel's side. Thunderbolt into the Thundurus, and now we have a game.
Oh,
I am so excited. You don't even know. Oh man, because now he can just target down the Ogre with Thundurus and then foul play. Yeah, that's...
Does the Thundurus KO the Ogre from this range? It's Focus Sash, so I'm assuming it's special.
It's max special, yeah.
The max special
and
attack.
I'm pretty sure it KO'd from that range earlier. It might be a damage roll.
I think you take this damage roll if you're Daniel. I think that's your best way to win the game.
Yeah.
I don't think you have...
Or you double protect. You double protect and stall out one of the protects. I don't think it's a bad idea to double protect. This is such a close game.
You can't
I'm so
protect
scared.
because Thundurus is taunted.
Oh, his Thundurus is taunted. Alright, so you don't protect then. You go for Thunderbolt.
You have to go for Thunderbolt, yeah.
And...
Oh!
And it lives, wow! But wait, we still have to see it get the attack off.
It has to Origin Pulse and connect with both.
Yeah. Yeah! Sweet! Nice! That's my boy! That's my boy! That's our boy! He's a star! He's a star! He's going to finals! I don't know if I said this, but that's my brother.
Oh,
love him.
Okay. So I get it. So Jake's saying over there that he thought the Yveltal was in Life Orb range so that it would knock itself out with recoil, but it not being in recoil range, he's able to survive that turn and get through the turn and pick up the game. So congratulations to Daniel over there. We have Justin running off to hug Daniel over there. And I believe we're going to have, I think Joshua Lorsi.
I have to change my underwear.
I think we're going to have Joshua Lorsi and Daniel Stein in finals. Is that correct?
No,
It was-
Lorsi was eliminated in the top 3.
No, I lost to him.
Wait, what?
I lost to him. You were there.
It's Loisy
Oh, wait,
versus
that was
Daniel.
round 5. Never
so-
I
mind.
have to find out if the other person I love is in finals.
Dan Levison lost.
So yeah, it's Lorsi and Dan Stein in finals. So again, we're gonna see more double primal versus Groudon Yveltal. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna cut to a break.
Oh yeah, we're gonna cut to a break.
All right. Thank you guys. We'll be back.
I thought it was Life Orb range!